right, so why can't God just be true and every man a liar? I'm gonna do a quick session on this conversation. I've been getting this a lot lately, where people just want to tell me something and just expect me to rock with it. So let me make this bigger so y'all can see. Bam. All right, so this was to the video you just saw, which is right here. Basically, this is an old video I did addressing how it's basically the three-headed eagle that you see in Second Esdras, right? So I'm just gonna say that to make this quick. So this person here, Master's Harvest, sends me a message relating to that video. This is what it says. It says, the time, 2 times and a half of times of Daniel 7:25, emphasis on that, began, get this, you can see it, February 9th, 2025. You cannot make this stuff up. And this is not a bash. Let me get this out too, because we live in a sensitive ass society where when you're just addressing a doctrine, people think you're attacking them. I dealt with that with one idiot, was at GMS Melbourne, right? Super bitch ass nigga. But anyways, you will never hear me say anything about this Master's. I don't care about him. I'm addressing this statement, okay? Like I always do, unless you do like Melbourne of GMS, whatever, and just make a bitch made video, just basically shit talking. At that point, I'm coming after you. So he said it begins February 9th, 2025. Trump is the little horn of Daniel 7 and 8, talking about Donald Trump. So he's basically telling you that Daniel is prophesying about Donald Trump. So as I continued on with this message, it says, we can know when we are on God's presence. It's just basically a bunch of blah, 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 blah. It is written in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 11, contains prophecies. Nothing in here to actually physically show us, no precept, that this is actually true. That's why I began this video saying, why can't God just be true and every man a liar? Ezra wrote 2nd Ezra, chapter 11, 12, the whole book really, but many centuries ago, long before the United States existed. Yet he accurately described a line of 15 years. No, he didn't. You're lying. Now you're lying on Ezra, because you have no proof to prove this dumbass bullshit statement. This 100-year-long prophecy began fulfilling blah, 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 blah. This is, see what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. This entire statement is just blah, 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 blah. This is when I replied to this person, okay? I'm doing this to edify. I gives a damn about this person, whatever they going on in their life. I'm only here to address the doctrine that he's attempting to put on to me. So, I've been having this conversation a lot lately because, again, like I've stated, people just love to just say shit and just expect me to rock with it with no evidence. It says, I asked them, what book, chapter, verse do you use to support what you have stated here? Question mark. Because I really want to know this. I'm heavy when it comes to evidence, not just someone saying something. Prophecy is already explained by the prophet and other prophets. I have never read a prophet mentioning Donald Trump. It just feels weird to read this, or any detailed events of today. I'm not taking your feelings or guesses away from you. I'm simply saying I have read the true answers already that are in the book. The book is sealed, okay? This is what he responds with. My sources are 2nd Ezra 11, 12, 13, and 5. Revelation, these chapters, and Daniel 7, blah, blah. We all know with this response that as of this point, what he's teaching is really just www.bullshit.com. None of these sources here justify anything that's said here. Okay? What he's doing, and he doesn't realize it, is that he's taking just something of how he feels, and he's trying desperately to squeeze it into these chapters in these books. Nobody has jurisdiction to do that. Not this guy, not any camp, not any pastor. I let this guy know. I say, thank you. Because at this point, he's not acting like a bitch like GMS Melbourne, okay? So I say, thank you. I have read the sources you have provided and am extremely familiar with them. None of them support anything you stated regarding Trump. Neither do they have anything to do with today except for Revelation chapters, those 2 chapters. Your other Revelation sources are talking about the fall of Babylon, not the bands of Gog and Magog. Obviously, you're inserting Trump and today's events into the book where they don't fit. I never read the name Donald in the book. It feels weird as hell. Just the fact that I have to. Okay, I have read the names of the kings the book mentions, which is what the book is talking about, which you obviously reject. The proof is already in the book. No one has jurisdiction to create their own opinion and usurp it over the words in the book or take away from it. You shouldn't add or take away from the word. He's adding Donald Trump to the word. Okay. He says to me, see lesson. He's talking about these videos on his channel. And I left him a comment on one of them because he didn't even use the Bible. He was just reading some commentary that I think he typed up or somebody gave to him. And he's just reading a script, basically, not realizing that there's no witness to support it as being true. It says, everything is supported and explained. Nothing in there was supported, but it was explained. But you can explain. I can explain to somebody how an ant can pull an airplane. I'm just explaining bullshit. I can explain how the 7 heads and 10 horns is NATO, EU, all this blah, blah, blah. But that doesn't make it true. Support and explaining something are 2 different words. Anything can be explained, which is what he did in every video on his channel. He's just talking. The fact that he doesn't realize that he doesn't have support, it's just there should be a law against people having YouTube channels. You're just putting out misinformation. That's all. You're explaining misinformation. It's very simple. I just watched you explain it, not the book. It's only your own personal guesses you made videos about, just like I just said. He says, of course, the prophecies are written. I kid you not, this guy literally just said what we are about to read. The prophecies are written so that we can solve them in our own day and age, even though they are written centuries ago. That's www.bullshit.com. He's just telling me how he feels. None of this information right here in this comment comes from the book. It says, this particular prophecy was not oh my God. This particular prophecy was not solvable until Donald J. Trump was elected in 2016. He became the final puzzle piece because he thinks this is some sort of bullshit puzzle because he doesn't realize he's making it a puzzle. Okay, so I let him know. No, you're wrong. And this is, again, nobody's arguing, nobody's disrespectful like you would be with certain camps like GMS Melbourne. It's just 2 adults talking the way it should be. I said, no, you're wrong. And then I let him know there's no book, chapter, or verse says that prophecies were written so that we can solve them in our own day. I won't, however, deny that is what you may think. I'm not taking his thoughts away. I'm just letting him know his thoughts are wrong. I know people will choose to voluntarily be a fool. I'm not going to take that away. Again, I don't argue with people. I just, you're wrong. This is how. It's not in the book. You're making it up. That's it. You have a Donald Trump bias that you are inserting into the book. It doesn't get any simpler than that. I keep repeating that scripture interprets scripture. I let them know about Isaiah 28 precepts. Not you. This prophecy is not a puzzle to be solved, which is your second mistake. You don't seem to realize you're guessing Trump into the book where he doesn't fit. Simply because you deny the kings the book mentioned by name, as I have pointed out, and that you have failed to illustrate any error. He didn't even show how, going back to the top now, when an idiot comes to my channel page, whatever, and just says, you're wrong or something ignorant like that, or just starts emotionally vomiting out doctrine, the first thing I say is, where's the book, chapter, and verse? Because that's really just going to slice through the bullshit, and you're going to watch them just continue, like GMS Melbourne. You're going to watch them continue to just give you a story that they believe when it was given to them, and they never just used common sense or read the book to really test it. They just blindly believed the bullshit. The triple B's blindly believed the bullshit. And then when they get mad at those of us that actually question things, like, wait a minute, that's 1 + 1 is 15. How'd you get 15? A basic question. So my thing is, how did you get Donald Trump? You're saying 1 + 1 is 15. How was it 7 heads, 10 horns, NATO EU? You're making 1 + 1 15. Just show me your math in the book. Basic questions, and niggas just they get agitated, but that's another story. But hopefully this guy I doubt it, because he's got a lot of videos, and I doubt he'll be willing to change anything on there. But Donald Trump is crazy. I can't believe somebody that's like believing Mickey Mouse is, the CEO of Cadillac. That's just bananas, bonkers to me. But apparently people are in this state mentally where they don't realize, you're using a book that tells you how to understand the book, but you ignore that because you want to just create your own thing. This goes religions, this guy, camps, whoever does this. I guess Islam kind of does it too, from what I heard, but this is insane. Donald Trump is the little horn. Then when I ask him to show it, he goes to other books that you don't even see Donald Trump's name in them, and this is flying right over the guy's head. He gives me this as sources to show Donald Trump is a little horn. None of these even, I don't know, maybe the guy is a tweaker. I don't know. Sometimes people, get high and read the Bible. This guy might have been on something, but I just wanted to show this for edification. Don't assume that simply because you feel something about something, that's actually evidence that thing is true. Find evidence, and your feelings are not concrete evidence in reality. It's just the way you feel. You might just be wrong. The sources could just be coming from you, not other people in other books like Ezra, Isaiah, etc. It could just be you, and you're trying to squeeze doctrine into the book. We have to be careful for that. While at the same time, you're just saying, oh, you're wrong, and you can't prove how somebody else, well, really the Bible is wrong. You gotta be out of your mind. But I just wanted to point that out real quick. That's all I have for now. As it is written, and I'm out.